Hello guys, we are going to talk about the Rayman book. The author is Barry Morrow. Biography. Barry Morrow was born on June 12, 1948 in Austin, Minnesota, USA. Barry Morrow studied at St. Olaf University and his occupations are scriptwriter and producer. Also, he was a winner of the Academy Award. Well, Charlie was a young man, about 26 years old, and Susanna was his girlfriend, also his secretary. Charlie was living in Los Angeles. He had a car sales company and a debt with the bank. But Charlie went to a trip with Susanna. When Charlie was driving, he got a call of the lawyer of his father in Cincinnati. Charlie received the bad news that his father had passed away. After the funeral was over, Charlie decided to visit his old house. Charlie talked with Susanna about a secret friend that he had when he was a child. The same night, Charlie had a meeting with the lawyer of his father. So the father of Charlie had left to him the Buick car and the roses. However, the father of Charlie had left the money, about $3 million, and the house to other person. The person couldn't use the money by itself, but other person managed the money for him. The manager was the Dr. Brunner, and his address was Walbrook Home, Ohio. Charlie and Susanna went to Ohio. Then Charlie found to the Dr. Brunner. Charlie asked to him who was the person who inherited the $3 million. The Dr. Brunner refused to tell him. Charlie saw a man. Charlie heard to the man said it cost an arm and a leg. Charlie remembered that his father used to say the same thing. Charlie began to question to the man about it, but the man didn't respond. The Dr. Brunner called to the man Raymond. Raymond said other things. Also, Raymond said the address of Charlie. Charlie was astonished. Charlie asked why the man knows it. Suddenly, the Dr. Brunner said that Raymond was the brother of Charlie. Charlie was astonished. However, Raymond was a person very intelligent. Charlie went to the car and invited to Raymond go with him to Cincinnati.
Hello, my name is Yadira and I will keep talking about this interesting book called Rayman. They were returning to Cincinnati and decided to stay in a hotel, but Raymond was not content since he could not see his traditional room. Everything was located in another order and that began to bother him. But Susanna decided to help him so that he could feel a little more comfortable. Raymond he mentioned that he needed the books to read, so Charlie searched the wardrobe and only found a phone book and gave it into him. Later of night, Raymond mistake turned off his television and decided to go to Charlie's room and sat at the foot. Out of bed, which upset Charlie a lot and was totally enraged. But Susanna was more upset when she saw the attitude of her promise, for which she left outside and left them abandoned. The next day, while the two brothers were going to breakfast, a waitress who has his name on her uniform and rushed with Raymond looked at him and immediately told him his phone number of memory. Everyone was surprised, but Charlie had an idea. So he told Raymond to Las Vegas and told him to play games of chance. which has super good for them. And they made a lot of money of them, for were immediately fired from that place, since the bosses did not want they to will too much money. They retired with a lot of money, and the same night Susanna forget him, returned to his side. Charlie seemed to begin to feel love for his brother, and this time he no longer cared about his money, but had he won custody of his brother to take care of him. When the time came for the trial, Charlie managed to understand that his brother needed special help. So he allowed her to return to the doctor, who was taking take care of him. Each book always leaves you a lesson, and what I'm learning from this book is that family always be important to us, regardless of time, conditions, distance, or anything else. But we must also learn to hear each person the necessary space. Thank you.